Superintendent Chalmers. Come in. I was just about to pop a donzelle in the oven.
A donzelle, eh? I've never had that before. Is it like a casserole?
Oh, it's far more than that. It's a symphony of flavors. A cosmic dance of ingredients from the far reaches of the galaxy, if you will. I've been saving it for a special occasion.
Well, this certainly sounds like a momentous occasion. But I'm afraid I'll have to pass on the food. I ate my beans for lunch.
Oh, I see. Well, how about a drink then? A nice cold glass of water.
Water. I think I'll stick with my beans.
You know, Chalmers, I've always wondered, have we ever been on the same exoplanet?
I'm afraid I can't say I've had that pleasure, Skinner. Perhaps one day we'll find ourselves on the same cosmic beach, sipping on interstellar margaritas.
I'd like that, Chalmers. I'd like that very much. Fucking hell. My donzelle is burnt to a crisp. Why the fuck did I let this happen? I can't believe it. I was so excited to impress Chalmers with this culinary masterpiece, and now it's just a charred mess. I should have checked on it earlier. I should have paid more attention. But no, I was distracted by thoughts of us on that cosmic beach sipping on interstellar margaritas. What am I going to do now? I can't serve this to Chalmers. He'll think I'm a complete failure. I guess I'll just have to serve him a plate of beans instead. After all, that's all I ever seem to eat. I can't believe I let this happen. I should have known better. I should have been more careful. I'll have to come up with something else. Something that will still impress Chalmers. Something that will show him I'm not just a bean-eating fool. Beans. Oh, sweet, humble beans, why hast thou forsaken me? My once glorious donzelle, a symphony of flavors now reduced to an ashen, unappetizing mess. Beans. I see a beacon of hope. A shop yonder window selling groundnut soup, a dish of substance, a dish of substance, a dish that might save my reputation. Beans, I shall climb out this window like a cat burglar and return with the key to salvation.
Pauses.
But how shall I prepare this new dish? Shall I boil it, roast it, or perhaps a combination of both?
Doorbell rings again.
Beans, why must thou make me wait? I shall go forth and procure this elixir, and return to present thee with a feast fit for a king.
Skinner exits through the window. After a while.
Beans, I've returned, and with a dish that's far from regal. Groundnut soup, a humble concoction, a far cry from the grandeur of the donzelle. Beans, I burnt the donzelle, and now I must serve thee this inferior substitute. I am a failure, a bean-eating fool. Beans, I shall serve thee, and pray that thou findest solace in my despair. For I have let thee down, and I can only hope that thou forgiveth me. Chalmers, come in, come in. I was just about to serve you a steamed version of my donzelle.
Steamed. I didn't know that was possible. And what's that smoke we're seeing?
Oh, that's just the beans, steam. You know, from the steaming process.
I'm afraid I can't say I've ever seen steam that looks like that, Skinner.
Well, it's a unique process, Chalmers. A delicate balance of heat and moisture. You wouldn't understand. You're more of a beans on the cob kind of guy.
I see. Well, if it's steamed, I suppose I'll give it a try. But I have to admit I'm a bit concerned about the beans.
Don't worry, Chalmers. The beans are fine. They're just working hard to create the perfect steamed donzelle for you.
Well, I must say, Skinner, you've certainly outdone yourself with this steamed donzelle. I can only imagine what the original version would have been like.
I'm glad you like it, Chalmers. I was worried the beans might let me down again.
Oh, Skinner, you and your beans. They always seem to be the center of your universe.
They're always there for me, no matter what.
I see. Well, let's sit down and enjoy this steamed donzelle. Who knows? It might just be the beginning of a cosmic romance.
I'd like that, Chalmers. I'd like that very much. Beans, I present to you the groundnut soup. I know it's not the donzelle you were expecting, but I assure you it's a hearty and delicious dish.
Beans, this is not the donzelle, but I must say I'm quite fond of groundnut soup. It's a comforting and satisfying dish.
Beans, I'm glad you like it. You see, I had a bit of a mishap with the donzelle. I'll tell you about it later, but for now, let's enjoy this delightful soup.
Beans, I'll certainly do that. I'm curious to hear about the donzelle, but for now, let's focus on this delicious soup. Beans, I must say I'm quite smitten with you, Skinner. Your culinary skills are truly remarkable.
Beans, I'm just glad you enjoy my cooking. I'll do my best to continue impressing you.
Beans, is that smoke I see coming from the kitchen?
No, it's just the beans, steam. You know, from the steaming process.
I'm afraid I can't say I've ever seen steam that looks like that, Skinner. It seems rather fiery.
Oh, beans, you're right. I must have accidentally left the beans on the stove. But don't worry, I'll put them out right away. Putting it out.
It looks more like a raging inferno to me.
Beans, it's not a fire. It's just a faceless one.
The faceless one?
In the kitchen. How was that even possible, Skinner?
Beans, it's a localized phenomenon. You wouldn't understand, you're more of a beans, on the cob kind of guy.
Beans, I'm sorry, but I can't just accept that there's a faceless fire in the kitchen. I'd like to see it for myself, if you don't mind.
Beans, I'm afraid I can't let you do that. There are certain protocols that must be followed.
Beans, I see. Well, if that's the case, I'll just wait here and hope that this so-called faceless fire doesn't spread.
Beans, I'm glad you enjoyed the donzelle. It was a bit of a faceless one, but I'm glad it passed muster.
Beans, it was quite the experience. I've never tasted anything quite like it. I can't help but wonder what caused that faceless one.
Some beans, it was just a localized phenomenon. You wouldn't understand, you're more of a beans on the cob kind of guy.
Beans, I see. Well, I must admit, I'm curious to see it for myself one day.
Mustard beans. There are certain protocols that must be followed.
Beans, I understand. I'll just have to take your word for it. Well, it was a lovely date, Skinner. I'll see you tomorrow at school.
Beans, I'll see you then, Chalmers. And I can't wait.
Goodbyes are exchanged as Chalmers leaves.